welcome. I'm James Tattersfield. I'm the founder and CEO of Polar Insight. Thank you very much for joining today's live training session. It's called Fix Your Funnel, How to Stop Leaks in Your Customer Journey. And it's designed to be a practical, fast-paced and full of insight presentation from our work across industries like energy, technology, finance, and public sector. So let's jump straight into it. Most customer journeys leak revenue silently and expensively. Not because your product or service is bad, but because you've lost proximity to the people who matter. So Net Promoter Score and CSAT and Customer Effort Score might tell you what is happening, but they're not going to tell you why. Our perspective at Polar Insight is simple. The closer you get to your stakeholders, the faster you grow. We'll show you how to do that today, and I'll run through a few different examples for how we've done that previously also. So we hear this all the time. Our NPS is fine, but something still feels off. You're doing the right things, yet engagement feels flat and growth feels harder than it should. This is usually a proximity problem. And when you can't see the friction and you can't see what's broken, what's not working correctly, it will start to show up in the numbers in one way, shape, or form. So either your cost of acquisition is going to go up, your CAC, your LTV drops, so your lifetime value of your customers, you get churn that no one else saw coming, and your leads start stalling or vanishing entirely. And often that happens without clear signals. It's very, very frustrating. And that's exactly why proximity matters. What we want to try and do here is understand the why behind some of these things are happening, behind why some of these things are happening, and not just what's happening. Because once we know why, we can then address that particular issue or that particular challenge, and we can apply a solution to it to move your business forward and to get you moving in the right direction again. So what are some of the biggest funnel leaks? What are some of the areas where people drop out of the funnel that your organization has set up, or the customer journey that you have in place to move them from being a stranger to being an advocate for your brand? Well, the three biggest funnels leaks that we see are: one, misaligned messaging. So you're selling features, they want outcomes. What they expect from your service is misaligned with what they hear from you. In the middle here, silent churn. So stakeholders leaving without telling you. And this isn't always because of a major failure, but because they weren't heard or understood. They didn't feel like they were being heard. They didn't feel like they were being understood. So they just churn away, and you never hear what happened. Or onboarding drop off. So customers don't succeed early because their expectations weren't set properly at the beginning. And each of these is really, really preventable if you know where to look. So let me show you a little bit about what happens when organizations do close this gap. So this energy provider, for example, we were working with, we interviewed new customers in the first 7 days, and we found that there was this unexpected friction in their sign-up process. Fixing that improved activation, and that meant that those customers then stayed for a lot longer and their lifetime value grew. Similarly, working on financial technology SaaS business, we helped to reposition some of their messaging after discovering that continuity, not innovation, was what their buyers valued most. Finally, within the public sector, we have supported with service uptake and increasing service uptake after engaging underrepresented stakeholders and aligning delivery to what they really needed. So these weren't abstract insights. They weren't it wasn't research that was carried out in isolation. We were looking specifically for insights that could then be applied, and they were the commercial levers essentially that these organizations were pulling in order to be able to grow their impact and grow their organization. So we have a method that we use to help us with this type of work. We call it growth through proximity. And here's how we approach it. So we surface friction, and this is certainly something you can use within your own organization. Surface the friction first. So this is all about mapping the unseen pain points in your customer journey. Once we've done that, engage stakeholders. So you want to recruit real decision makers and users, not panel respondents, not people who are filling out surveys for the sake of filling out surveys. These are the real people behind your service. You want to discover the real why, essentially. So really dive into understanding their expectations, any experience gaps, any outcomes that they're looking to achieve, and then take those learnings and apply those learnings to fuel your growth. So this is about translating that proximity to the people around your organization and applying that to enable faster decisions and better journeys for them. And we call this process, and we call this method, growth through proximity. It's about bringing your stakeholders around your organization much closer to you, so that you can then understand them better and apply those learnings to areas of your organization that they will know more about than you will. So what are some things that you can do? This is a longer term approach. This is something you want to be working towards if you're not currently doing, or you want to be enhancing the volume of this if you are doing activities like this at the moment. But what are some steps that you can take this quarter? So even if you're not ready for a full project, even if you're not ready to really dive into doing this work, there's a lot you can do. And that can be just, there's plenty more after these 4, but the top 4 that we would think about. Audit your funnel with a stakeholder lens. So have a look at your customer journey from the perspective of one of your stakeholders that isn't yourself or your team. And that can be getting them involved and asking them to talk to you about it. But it can also just be putting yourself in their shoes as a starting point to say, okay, if I was person X, this is what I would think about this particular stage of our process. You then want to start to identify some drop-off points. You might speak to kind of 4 to 6 users or customers. It doesn't need to be a huge sample of people to begin with, but you just want to get to that level where you're going to be starting to hear the same things time and time again. 4 to 6 is a really good sample size for that. Where you start to go beyond that, you start to kind of hear the same things being repeated over and over again, and you get slightly diminishing returns. So if you can find 4 to 6 of the right, 4 to 6 of the same profile of users or customers, that's a really good number to start with. And you can use our funnel fix checklist to prioritize what to fix as well. We can get that over to you as well. You don't need to guess. You just need to ask the right people in the right way. That's all it is. And this is something that we can help you with. So we support teams like yours to recruit hard to reach stakeholders. We don't rely on panels. We work specifically with the audience that you need to engage, and then build a plan with you around how to engage them and how to contact them. We can explore what actually drives decisions on your behalf or alongside you, depending on how you would like to run things. And we help you fix what's slowing your growth, essentially. So whether that's messaging, whether that's in delivery, whether that's in customer retention, all of the support that we're providing is so that you can turn proximity to your stakeholders into competitive edge and long-term competitive advantage for your organization. And that can be in a commercial context versus other competitors, and whether you're winning work or winning contracts. But can also just be your competitive edge in terms of your impact, in terms of the things that you want to achieve for the stakeholders around you. We want to give you the information, insight, and intelligence to be able to make better decisions about the people who interact with your organization, and we can help you do that and help start some of those conversations. Ultimately, your funnel could be fixed faster than you think. These proximity gaps are costing you revenue today. This isn't something in the future. This isn't something which is kind of a nebulous problem out there in the future. They are costing you revenue today, and people are leaving your service, and they are not returning to your organization for these reasons. And a few targeted conversations could really, really change everything. So let's fix the journey together, quickly, strategically, with the right people. We're offering a limited number of funnel fix sprints at the moment. So these are kind of fast focus projects designed to uncover the biggest issues and help you take action immediately. Thank you very much for joining today. We really want to see you fix your funnel for good. These slides and a copy of our free B2B funnel fix checklist will follow via email. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I will add my details at the bottom of this video. If you've got a journey that you'd like to fix, we'd love to design it with you together, and we look forward to talking to you about that process. Have a very good rest of your day.